It was the first cool evening of autumn, the kind that smelled like roasted chestnuts and distant rain. The city lights were just starting to glow when Emma finished work and checked her phone. A message popped up from Lisa. "Don't make dinner. I'm kidnapping you." Emma laughed, typing back, "Should I be worried?" A moment later, Lisa replied, "Only if you hate surprises." 20 minutes later, Emma heard a loud knock on her door, and there was Lisa, wrapped in a scarf, cheeks pink from the cold, holding a bag that smelled like something delicious. "Let's go," she said, eyes sparkling. "Where?" Emma asked, but Lisa just smiled mysteriously and dragged her along. They walked through the city streets, the sky painted in orange and purple, leaves crunching under their shoes. I thought about doing something cozy before winter starts," Lisa said. "Something small but special." "Small but special?" Emma raised an eyebrow. "That could mean anything from cocoa to chaos." "Both," Lisa replied with a grin. They stopped in front of a tiny cafe, tucked between two bookshops, its windows glowing with golden light. Inside, there were only a few tables, soft jazz music playing, and the smell of cinnamon in the air. "Welcome to Café Luna," Lisa said with a proud gesture. "I discovered it last week. It's our new hangout spot." They sat by the window, ordered 2 cups of hot chocolate with marshmallows, and watched the world outside turn darker and cozier. "You were right," Emma said, taking a sip. "This place is perfect." "I knew you'd like it," Lisa replied, stirring her drink. "Also, I brought something." She reached into her bag and pulled out a small jar filled with folded pieces of paper. "What's that?" Emma asked. "Our memory jar," Lisa said. "I thought we could start tonight. Every time we have a nice moment, we write it down and put it inside. Then, at the end of the year, we read them all." Emma smiled softly. "That's actually really sweet." "I know," Lisa said proudly. They both wrote their first notes, first hot chocolate of autumn, and dropped them into the jar. The evening drifted by with laughter and warm conversation, stories from work, jokes about awkward customers, and random dreams about traveling to Paris just for croissants. At one point, Lisa accidentally spilled a bit of chocolate on the table and tried to clean it with napkins, which only made it worse, and Emma laughed so hard she nearly cried. "You're hopeless," she said. "I'm artistic," Lisa replied, making a heart shape with the chocolate stain. When they finally left, the air was cool and full of the smell of wet leaves. They walked home slowly, their breath turning to mist in the air. "You know what I love about autumn?" Lisa said softly. "Everything feels like it's slowing down, like the world is wrapping itself in a blanket." "Yeah," Emma said. "It makes ordinary days feel a little magical." "Exactly," Lisa said, smiling at her. Back home, they decided to watch a movie, but halfway through, Emma fell asleep with a blanket over her, and Lisa quietly placed the memory jar on the table beside her. The next morning, Emma woke up to the smell of pancakes. "You're cooking?" she said, rubbing her eyes. "Kind of," she said, flipping something suspiciously dark on the pan. "You mean burning?" Emma teased. "Experimenting," Lisa corrected. They sat down to eat slightly uneven pancakes with honey and laughed about their late-night adventure. "Okay," Lisa said, pulling the jar toward her. "New memory. First failed pancake experiment." "I think you mean delicious success," Emma said with a grin. After breakfast, they put on their scarves again and went for a walk in the park. The trees were glowing in shades of gold and red, and a cool breeze danced through the leaves. Kids were chasing each other, someone was playing guitar near a bench, and the world felt peaceful. They sat by the lake, feeding ducks, talking about small things, books, food, plans for winter. "I sometimes forget how nice it is to just slow down," Emma said quietly. "Yeah," Lisa replied, watching the ripples on the water. "It's like the world keeps moving fast, but we get to make our own little pauses." They stayed there until the sun dipped low, painting everything in amber light. On their way back, Lisa stopped by a small street stand selling candles and bought one shaped like a crescent moon for our next Cafe Luna night. "Deal," Emma replied. Back home, they lit the candle, turned on soft music, and wrote a few more notes for their jar. Autumn walk, cinnamon air, burned pancakes that weren't so bad. It became their quiet little ritual. After long days or stressful weeks, they'd meet at Cafe Luna, talk, laugh, and add new memories to the jar. Over time, the cafe owners started recognizing them and saving their favorite seats. Sometimes they brought sketchbooks, sometimes just silence, but it always felt warm, like stepping into a hug. Months passed, snow came and went, and spring painted the city green again. One evening, Lisa came over holding the jar, now full of colorful folded papers. "It's time," she said. They sat by the window, opened the jar, and started reading each note. Every one of them carried laughter. The rainy ramen day, our cafe discoveries, late-night talks, and the time Emma tried to make cookies and forgot sugar. They laughed until tears rolled down their cheeks. But some notes made them go quiet, too. "You said you finally felt happy again. That sunset walk. Thank you for being here." When they reached the last note, Lisa unfolded it slowly. It read, "Promise me we'll always keep finding magic in ordinary days." Lisa looked up and smiled. "Still true?" she asked. "Always," Emma said. Outside, the evening sky was soft and pink, the air full of the scent of flowers. They sat there for a long time, sipping tea, the memory jar beside them glowing in the golden light. Proof that life's best stories aren't big or loud, just full of warmth, laughter, and quiet friendship.